So I was just in the middle of recording um, my second episode, and I realized that I have not done a decent tutorial for this. I'm going to run over a brief combat basics tutorial of just like how to play the game, and we're going to start with all of the controls. So this is how you move. Eventually you'll get used to it, but these are the arrow keys to move, kind of like the WASD keys in most other games. Then you have the L button, which potentially moves NPCs out the way. I really haven't messed with that just because I don't know. I mean, I haven't done too much with yelling. It might move NPCs. It might aggro some of the monsters during nighttime when you kind of can sneak up on them. So there's a couple things that I just don't know about that because I don't use it too much. Then you have your jump button, which is X. Return, which puts you into turn-based combat mode, right? Cast, ready, and attack. So your S key, if we go into our spell book, her quick spell is Swarm. So when I press S, it casts that spell. And there is a difference between your quick spell and your attack spell. So if you label something as your attack spell, which is this button right here, anytime you press the A key, it'll use that spell instead. Even if you have a bow, even if you are swinging a two-handed weapon, it'll always use that spell provided that you have the mana. But this button right here makes it a quick spell, so that when you press the S key, it'll cast the spell instead of the A key. It still takes one action, which is what I call, your gem. If you have the gem, that means your character is ready to take a turn in turn-based combat. So a little bit more about that. If you press A and you have a ranged weapon and no spell on the attack, you'll shoot your ranged weapon. It has to be within range to even see the monster. As you can see, as I'm just clicking the A key or clicking with my mouse, the arrow is just flying nowhere because it doesn't see the monsters yet. Then we have trigger, which is your pickup, your enter into buildings key. It collects the bodies to get you money, that kind of thing. Cast just brings up the spellbook. We have pass, which cancels your action for the round and it passes it immediately to the next character. Then we have character cycle, which is tab, and that's mainly just for out of combat use. If you are in combat, it doesn't, pressing tab does nothing, but as soon as you exit combat, it just cycles through your available characters. And then we have quest, which brings up your quests. We have quick reference, rest, and history. Quick reference brings up this page. It shows you if the level is green, it means that you can level up. And then here it shows skill points for each character too. It also gives you a quick reference to all of your characters. So my main character Artemis has a plus 16 to attack with her melee weapon, and she has a plus 18 to shoot with her ranged weapon. And then you have the damage numbers and stuff if it passes the armor class and resistances, all that good stuff. HP, mana, spell points, AC, armor class, and then the conditions. So if anybody has like an ailment or something, it'll be listed down here. So if you got poisoned or feared, it'd pop up down here in the condition. It's got your class. This is kind of beneficial to know if your elf has gotten promoted or not, or your minotaur has gotten promoted, dragon. Characters that don't have a physical change when they get promoted, unlike the Lich. I mean, if your necromancer got promoted, you would instantly know because he's made of all bones at that point. A little spoiler there. Let's see. So that's potentially most of that's the combat stuff. You've got the quick reference, rest, history. Rest just brings up your resting page. You can wait. If you wait too long, your characters will get hungry and they'll become weakened. But if you rest and heal, you need to consume food. This is your food in the top right corner. And if you don't have food and you go to rest, you get weakened. It's just like an 8-hour time skip. If you rest long enough without eating, your characters will die outright, and then it'll make you load and you'll lose all your money. So we have rest, history, it just opens the book. Notes opens the book, map opens the book. So history gives you a little bit more about just the actual quest itself, the overall goal of the campaign. We've got map, brings up the map. We've got notes, brings up potion recipes, and then you can go to fountains, obelisks, the seer, the barrel stuff, and then you have teacher locations down here. And then these are, you've got your auto run key, which currently I'm running. Press U, now I'm walking. Press U, now I'm running again, and then you can press shift to force walk, or if you are walking, force run. It just toggles whatever mode you're in. Look up, look down, super important for melee combat. If you start fighting up on a hill and you need to look up, you press page down to look up and delete to look down. So on the right is look up, on the left, look down. And then if you have a flyer in your party or the ability to fly, you would see it where currently my picture is. Let me turn that off real quick. You see this little icon right here is the sandals with the wings on it. That means that fly has been cast on the party. That means fly has been cast on the party. And now you can use the fly controls. Fly controls is on the right is page up to fly up. Whoever has cast it on your party will start to use mana. I do believe. I think it is the necromancer that has cast a spell. It uses mana to do so. And then insert, which is on the left, makes you go down. So if you fly, then you hit home, you fall out of the air, which you essentially land. So realistically, if you're using flying, you kind of don't want to hit home. You just want to hit insert until you hit the ground. Unless you have feather fall, potentially you'll go to the ground maybe the same speed. I mean, initially there is like kind of a hover thing. But yeah, so those are flying controls. We'll get to those a little bit later. We've got center view, which is end. Okay. Which essentially, The middle buttons, so home and end, basically cancel out any input made with the buttons to the left and right of them. So page down, which makes you look up. If you press end, you look middle. Delete, if you look down all the way. End makes you look in the middle. So, and that's the same way with the flying. Home makes you land, so it cancels out the fly. Okay, almost done here. You got zoom in, add and subtract. I think that's for, yep, that's for the map on the far right. Yeah, your flying controls, land. And that's it for all of the controls there. And now I'll go over a little bit of what the combat things mean. So right under your character, you have these little green gems. That means that your characters deem themselves safe. So if you wanted to rest, you could, because no monsters are coming after you. As soon as you get close enough, those gems will turn yellow, which means monsters have now seen you and they are coming to get you. And then if they get close enough, the gems turn red, which means that all of your ranged attacks, like your bow, will turn into melee attacks, and you'll switch to your melee weapons. But if you have made a spell, your attack ready button, so if you go into the book, you click this spell, and you click set as attack spell. Now when I press A, it uses that spell instead of using her weapon. So just a thing to note there, even though we're within melee range. I think that is about it for the tutorial. So I hope that everyone finds this tutorial to be somewhat useful. If you don't know how to play the game, this is definitely a good starting point to understand the controls a little bit. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave a comment. I'll be happy to answer whatever I know. That's it for the tutorial. Thanks.